Hello and welcome to another manga spotlight. This is Nikai, Bongai, Barabarujura. I probably completely butchered that, and if so, I'm sorry. But yeah, Barabarujura, the Buddhist remains of the Second Kingdom. This is a one-shot kaiju manga by Akutami Gigi, who is the creator of Jujutsu Kaisen. So yeah, the creator of Jujutsu Kaisen created a one-shot kaiju series. It won the Shonen Jump 2016 Golden Future Cup. The story is a high school delinquent, Noroma, with a love for fighting, comes head to head with a giant kaiju attacking the city. Can his unique martial arts style subdue the threat? And so we start off this one shot where the Second Kingdom Oracle Agreement was made. And basically, it was a promise between the world and God that they would get rid of every single weapon. So there are no weapon usages in this world. Guns, knives, all that stuff, I guess, don't exist. Which is kind of weird because later on we do see baseball bats being used. But I guess baseball bats technically are not weapons because they're used for sports. So I don't know like what the loopholes here are. Unfortunately, this is like a one shot, so it's not able to like go into like all the details. But basically, weapons were disbarred, they were destroyed. That was 20 years ago. And now we just have like one thing that the world has to deal with, and that's giant kaijus. Apparently, giant kaiju showed up, and that's the only thing kind of keeping the world from achieving peace. As this teacher is explaining this to his students, a giant kaiju shows up and starts attacking the city. And there is one kaiju that keeps showing up. Its name is Mask Man, and it is the only kaiju that actually helps the humans by fighting the other kaijus. And basically, what they've done is Japan has one kaiju that they keep in the mainland, Mask Man, and it kind of helps prevent the other kaijus from invading. A couple times we will still get kaijus like popping in, but Mask Man usually will go and take care of that. And as the students are evacuating the school, we see Noroma. Noroma is on top of the rooftops of the school, and there's a bunch of delinquents up there with him, and they're basically going to fight him. Noroma is considered the strongest fighter of this school, and so this other school, I guess, wants to show him up. So they sent their biggest, strongest fighter, and Oromu beats him in one kick. And then he tells the rest of the delinquents, like, let's save some time. I want you all to come after me at the same time. And he ends up just beating the crap out of all of them. And with some free time, he starts watching Masked Man fighting this giant frog kaiju. And he's kind of like trying to give tips. Obviously, the Masked Man can't hear him. But Noromu realizes that while the Masked Man is strong, his fighting techniques are absolute garbage. And so he heads home to his grandma's shop. And all of a sudden, the shop gets destroyed. And Masked Man has fallen down. Masked Man is like collapsed. He sees the dead frog kaiju behind him. So basically, it was kind of like a tie. And Masked Man's mouth opens up, and this girl falls out. And her name is Hayame. And Hayame accidentally reveals that she is the pilot for the kaiju. That basically, she controls the kaiju and she pilots it to fight the other kaijus. And she uses a spray on Noroma. It knocks him out, and it's supposed to like wipe away his memories, but he still retains them. And so he confronts Hayame. Hayame explains later on that, yeah, like, I fight the kaijus by piloting the Masked Man. And Noromu's like, all right, that's all well and good, but you absolutely suck at fighting. And she explains that, like, it's true. Like, not only does she suck at fighting, but she's easily scared. And the only reason why she pilots like that, the government allows her to, is because there's this thing called perceptual feedback, which basically means that any pain that the Masked Man feels gets passed on to the pilot. She like pulls back the sleeve of her arm to reveal a bunch of bruises, and she explains that it's a requirement to be able to pilot isn't combat prowess; it's whether or not you can withstand the pain. It's a matter of your physical constitution, and that's when all of a sudden alarms go off and another kaiju ends up attacking. And so Hayame goes to pilot the Masked Man. Meanwhile, Noroma runs back to his grandma's shop and helps her escape. And as he's watching the fight, he realizes that Hayame is just getting her ass kicked. This kaiju is way too strong. And so we see Noroma jumping across rooftops. He tells Hayame to open up the kaiju's mouth, the masked man's mouth. He jumps inside, and then he tells Hayame, like, hey, why don't you let me take control of this kaiju for a while? And she explains that, like, you can't. Basically, the masked man has to be, like, attuned to your wavelength or body or whatever. And if it's not, it can kill you. And he's like, don't worry about that. That's not going to happen to me. Like, I can withstand the pain. And so he takes control over this kaiju. And I'm not going to spoil anything else. But yeah, it's this interesting one-shot that, in my opinion, like, it has potential to be an actual series. It kind of reminds me of, what was it called? Kaiju number 7? Only instead of actually turning into a giant kaiju, our main characters just pilot a giant kaiju. So it's kind of like Kaiju number 7 meets Pacific Rim. Only instead of a mech, it's an actual kaiju. But yeah, like there's potential here. I think the main character seems a little bit cliche, just in the sense that it's the typical shonen main character who's a delinquent, but actually has a heart of gold, who loves fighting and is really good at fighting. And a lot of people seem to have like bad rumors about this person, about how like they're part of Yakuza, they're a terrible person, but they're actually not. They just love fighting, so that's why they skip class so that they can go and fight a bunch of other students. So yeah, other than that, like we don't really get much character building. Again, it's like a one shot. So all we really know is that his name is Noroma. He's really good at fighting. He can take a lot of damage, and he really loves his grandma. And that his grandma might be the only like living relative that he has. But yeah, I do think that there's like potential here for an actual series. So it is kind of a shame it's a one shot. Then again, if I had to choose between this or Jujutsu Kaisen, I guess I would choose Jujutsu Kaisen because I think Jujutsu Kaisen is a better story. But maybe once Jujutsu Kaisen is done, we can actually have a series of this. This would be kind of interesting. I love tokusatsu stuff. I love kaijus and monster films. So a story where a main character pilots a giant kaiju is kind of interesting. Like I'm totally down to see, how that goes. So there you go. There's Nikai, Bongai, Barabarujura. Again, I probably totally butchered that, but it was a good one shot. I enjoyed it. Artwork, like I said, it's from the creator of Jujutsu Kaisen. So if you like the Jujutsu Kaisen artwork, that's basically what you get here. Characters, interesting. There's potential, but at this point in time, they're not really fleshed out. They're kind of cliche and a bit one-dimensional. But again, that's just because it's a one-shot. So you kind of have to cram, as much as you can into a limited amount of pages. But there's potential there for more. But there you go. Hope you enjoyed, and hope to see you next time. Take care. Later. So what did you guys think of that video? I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe, hit that bell for notification, leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And if you didn't enjoy the video, thank you for watching it this far, and I hope the next video is more to your liking. Feel free to check out the playlist that you guys see, and I hope to see you guys next time. Later.